Thanks for joining us. You're watching Arirang Newsbreak, live from Seoul. I'm Han Da-eun. We begin at the nation's top office. President Park Geun-hye has just announced a widely expected cabinet reshuffle. The president hopes the fresh faces will help her successfully carry out her policy drives over the remaining 18 months of her term. Cho Yoon-sun, President Park's former Secretary for Political Affairs and former Minister for Gender Equality, has been appointed Culture Minister. The presidential office anticipates Cho will rev up momentum for cultural prosperity as she has a deep understanding of President Park's policy drives, serving as one of the president's closest aides for years. Kim Jae-soo, the current chief of the state-run Korea Agro-Fisheries and Food Trade Corporation, is the new agriculture minister. Cho Kyung-gyu, Deputy Director for the Office for Government Policy Coordination, will now lead the Ministry of Environment. We'll have full coverage on that in our next newscast at noon. A two-week-long extraordinary session has kicked off at the National Assembly. The rival parties and the public are hoping for some tangible results by the end of the month, but many expect a bumpy road ahead as a number of contentious issues have to be resolved. Ji Myung-gil reports.
After a prolonged period of gridlock and inaction, Korea's major political parties have pledged to work together and pass bills aimed at improving the day-to-day lives of the people.
The National Assembly will work hard to live up to the public's expectations and bring about fruitful results.
The Special Parliamentary Committee on Budget and Accounts has begun its review of the government supplementary budget plan. The ruling's Haenuri party is calling for all sides to show a cooperative spirit, while the opposition parties have vowed to keep their promises to the people by focusing on enhancing their lives. Last week, the rival parties agreed to vote on the multi-billion-dollar extra budget bill next Monday. The extra funds will be used to invigorate Korea's sluggish economy in the latter part of this year. Apart from the budget supplement, the parties are expected to lock horns over parliamentary hearings on the managerial failures of Korea's ailing shipbuilders. They plan to look into the root causes of the industry's financial woes and discuss the presidential office's involvement in a state-run bank's decision to inject billions of dollars to struggling Daewoo shipbuilding and marine engineering. Ji Myung-gil, Arirang News.
South Korea's economy has been on a turbulent ride in recent years, with exports sagging and key industries suffering. But as our Kim Mo-gyun reports, South Korea actually rose on the world GDP rankings in 2015 when compared with other economies.
Local investment banks revealed Tuesday that data by the World Bank shows South Korea's gross domestic product reached $1.38 trillion in 2015. That makes South Korea the 11th largest economy in the world. South Korea's GDP rank hit 10th in 2005, but had fallen back to 15th by 2008. Between 2009 and 2013, South Korea remained at 14th. From 2014, it started to bounce back, climbing one notch to 13th, and finally climbed two notches back to 11th last year. However, the results don't mean South Korea's economy actually grew, as Russia and Australia's economies in 10th and 12th respectively in 2004 contracted last year. Experts say South Korea's GDP last year actually dropped 2.4% from $1.41 trillion in 2014, and its gross national income per capita at purchasing power parity dropped 6 notches to 48. An investment strategy manager from Seoul-based High Investment and Securities said that though it's difficult to read too much into the rise of South Korea's GDP rank, it's possible to say South Korea's economy did relatively well compared to other countries. The United States topped the GDP list with almost $18 trillion, followed by China, Japan, and Germany and Britain. Kim Mo-gyun, Arirang News.
In the United States, Donald Trump, the Republican presidential nominee, has unveiled his plan to stamp out radical Islamic terrorism, especially the Islamic State group. His plans include an ideological screening test on prospective immigrants from certain countries. This is what he said.
In the Cold War, We had an ideological screening test. The time is overdue to develop a new screening test for the threats we face today. I call it extreme vetting. I call it extreme vetting.
Giving his speech in Ohio, one of the key battleground states, Trump also blamed the Democratic Party for creating a vacuum for terrorists to grow and called the Obama administration incompetent. The speech comes as Trump has been watching his poll numbers suffer in recent weeks due to a number of controversial comments. Time now to turn our focus to the latest from the 2016 Olympics in Rio. Day 10 was a roller coaster ride of emotions for Korea's badminton stars. The men stumbled, but the women's pair made it to the semis, where they can secure themselves at least a bronze medal with a victory. Our Yoon-shin has a rundown on that and the rest of the day's action.
Monday was a bit of a bumpy day for Team Korea in Rio, as the nation saw some disappointing results in badminton, an event from which the nation had high medal hopes. In the men's doubles, the top-ranked team of Lee Yong-dae and Yoo Yeon-sung suffered a shock defeat in the quarterfinals. It was a truly unexpected 2-1 loss against the 12th-ranked Malaysian duo. The other Korean pair, third-ranked Kim Sa-rang and Kim Ki-jung, also crashed out in the round of 16 to China. In the women's doubles badminton, however, Team Korea secured a semi-final berth. Beating a duo from the Netherlands 2-1, Chung Kyung-eun and Shin Seung-chan are set to face off against Japan in the semi. In the meantime, North Korean gymnast Lee Se-kwang won gold in the men's vault, adding a second gold to North Korea's medal tally in Rio. The two-time world champion scored an average of 15.691 points after 2 attempts, and was awarded the gold by Chang Won, who is the only North Korean member of the International Olympic Committee. And finally, with 3 Olympic golds already in the bag after some dazzling moves on the mat, American gymnast Simone Biles snagged yet another medal on Monday. Though the 19-year-old was eyeing her 4th gold, during her routine, she slipped while making front flips and grabbed the beam to rebalance herself, which meant she only landed the bronze. Crushing dreams while giving hope to others. Day 10 of the Rio Olympics had lots of thrills and spills, an unpredictability that's likely to continue for the rest of the games. Yoon-shin, Arirang News.
And that's all from me. Keep it tuned to Arirang for more top domestic and global news updates throughout the day. Thank you for watching.